This demo segment is going to focus on the AgilePoint AI Control Tower. Now this video is building upon functionality you'd seen previously, where I was able to manually handle exceptions through rerouting the process and things of that nature. This time, we're going to see the AI Control Tower automatically invoked to handle exceptions on our behalf. But most importantly, this video illustrates how the control towers are helping our customers build applications that respond to external inputs. So think of things like market or competitive pressures or trends within the organization. And most importantly, bring this into an application without any pre-existing data science skills. So you might have heard the term operationalizing AI, and I want to spend just a brief moment talking about what we mean. So as you're seeing on screen, this is the typical scenario in most of the organizations that we work with, where there are separate teams for both AI and data, as well as business applications, which results in two totally separate development tracks. So what we've seen through our in-market research is that a lot of effort and human capital cost has been allocated to AI with fairly minimal immediate returns and very low overall ROI. So enter AgilePoint's AI Control Tower, which serves as a bridge to connect those two disparate tracks and allows AgilePoint customers to leverage the investments made in AI and easily apply them to business applications to generate those immediate returns. So now, what does the picture look like with the advent of the AI Control Tower? It results in a completely symbiotic relationship between the various parts you're seeing on screen and has the potential to transform your business and bring unparalleled agility. Furthermore, our applications now become an ecosystem that can recognize and adapt in real time at just the right moment that your business requires. So first, just a quick note about the AI Control Tower framework itself. What this really means is it allows business users and application subject matter experts to create applications that respond to those external inputs that we mentioned, competitive pressures, trends, and so on. And this is an open framework that you can either use the existing control towers that ship with the product, or empower your developers to create new ones that are 100% tailored to your organization's requirements. So to give you a little perspective as to how all of this works and how AgilePoint's solution is uniquely positioned to realize these benefits, let's first take a look at how most process automation solutions are approaching injecting AI today. So with most process automation solutions today, they're treating AI as yet another technology service, essentially another API that we can call. So what we found is that this results in AI that is integrated purely at the task level to help make a decision at a specific point in the process. Really just an incremental productivity enhancement for that specific task alone, and as a result, very minimal returns against what is oftentimes very extensive AI development cost. Now, AgilePoint can also take that approach, but what we found is that in addition to the low ROI, it merely increases friction and can cause confusion among the business user community, with that AI being tightly integrated into the overall application itself. So let's contrast that then with the tiered composability that the AgilePoint approach provides, meaning that business users can consume this AI and bring it into a business application without expert level domain knowledge in AI, and it results in a very clean-cut separation of AI logic from process and programming logic. So as a result, what this is doing is really taking Agentic AI to the next level, as the AgilePoint control towers not only can monitor the entire end-to-end flow, but also have the capability to monitor across processes as well, and allow for that clear pathway for our customers to apply AI to their applications. So at this stage, you might be wondering, how does all of this work? Well, we're going to go into more detail during the demo portion, but in short, it's as straightforward as everything else in the platform. So by that I mean it's very powerful from a functionality perspective, but through deep abstraction into a drag and drop configure-based simplicity. So that again, we can democratize this powerful capability and allow for each stakeholder group and functional area that participates in a process to have multiple layers of control towers and to give each group precise control over how they want AI to impact their process. So here's the use case that we're going to leverage to illustrate how AgilePoint can operationalize AI cost effectively through a high-valued process. A perfect example of such a process is order to cash. It's cross-functional, it's tied directly to revenue generation and customer experience, and across the top, you're seeing that there are two control towers that are monitoring key stages of this value stream to ensure that the process executes in a way that is continually aligned to company objectives. It does this by mitigating risk, capitalizing on opportunity, and adapting the process execution. So it could be something like adding a step on the fly, moving backwards in the process as you'd seen earlier during the demonstration, or forwards for that matter, based on what's best for the organization at that particular time. So in short, it's watching over the process and ensuring the best possible execution. Now, before we dive deeper, let's take a high-level view of the control tower that you're seeing here at the top of the screen. Control Tower 1, built to the exact specs of the order processing team to ensure that exceptions and order alerts are handled gracefully and in the context of that transaction. Now, Control Tower 2, on the other hand, is built to mitigate risks associated with fulfillment and logistics, and again, to their precise specifications. So first, let's examine the typical process flow for an order. If the total sale amount is under $1 million without the control towers, we would proceed directly to order fulfillment. But this would treat all products the same, regardless of very important context that might warrant different treatment for the best possible outcome for our organization. So taking a look at each of these control towers, which act as supervisors for each instance of our order to cash process, or across processes as needed. But our first control tower is looking at the characteristics of the product that are purchased. So as an example, if a product is ordered that is in high demand, we might want to treat that differently than a product that sits in the warehouse for a longer period of time. Now, the control tower is going to make all of this possible without adding significant complexity and maintenance overhead to the application itself. The second control tower, on the other hand, is looking at the likelihood for a shipping exception and to ensure that we're able to deliver the products the customer has ordered on time. So what you're going to see here is it taking corrective action if there's a good chance that delivery window might be missed. Now, there's different ways that our control tower can operate, and you're going to see both of those here at different stages in our flow, both offering non-deterministic execution, which is perfect for AI. But scenario one is going to bring a human in the loop, where we're going to see insights surfaced to a subject matter expert or application owner, and it's up to that individual to accept or reject the suggestion that the control tower is making. So what we're going to see here is a salesperson inputting the details of an order where the total sale amount is under $1 million, but at some stage during the fulfillment, it is predicted that the products will be in high demand. So when that scenario takes place, we're going to suspend all of the downstream processes that you're seeing at the bottom of my screen and surface an insight to our application owner that we should insert a task that did not exist previously. So in this case, where a product is in high demand, the control tower will likely suggest that a task for the finance team is inserted, where the finance team can validate things like creditworthiness and payment terms are in alignment with a product of that sort of popularity. Now, assuming that step is completed, we're going to perform an ad hoc skip forward and essentially resume the normal processing while unlocking all of our downstream steps. So that's going to be scenario one. Now, as we mentioned, the control tower can work in a number of different ways. While scenario one surfaced an insight to an application owner and offered a suggested adaptation to our process, scenario two is going to take an automated action. So depending on your level of comfort with having AI direct your process, you have options that are in line with those preferences. So as I mentioned a few slides back, the second control tower is looking to mitigate shipping exceptions and delays. So if the model determines there is a high level of certainty that the shipment won't reach the customer on time with the current fulfillment configurations, the control tower is going to automatically roll the process backwards from the waiting for shipment stage back to the fulfillment team, where they can then adjust the method of shipment or the delivery date to avoid an unhappy customer. Okay, so with that, we're going to jump into the demo and show you the control towers in action. Okay, so I've just moved into my landing page for my order to cash application. You're seeing a number of reporting widgets here across the top, but where I'd like to draw your attention immediately is the prediction score percentage. So for those of you who are familiar with machine learning and things of that nature, you'll know that a 95% accuracy rate from a model is just about unheard of. And a lot of this goes back to what Jesse mentioned earlier around closed loop optimization, where our model is continually trained based on past workflow runs with validated and very high quality data. So let's go ahead and kick off a new instance. And what we're going to do here is queue up a scenario so that both of our control towers are invoked. Now, just to save some time here, I have an autofill button, but you're going to notice a few different data points that are going to be fed to our model. Things like VIP account status, payment terms, and things of that nature. And then, of course, the products themselves. Now, I know from my own experience that at some point during fulfillment, the stainless steel electrodes are predicted to be in high demand. And with a quantity of 40, we're keeping under the $1 million threshold that would otherwise direct us to legal and finance. So I'm going to kick this process off. And what we're going to see here pretty immediately in our process is Control Tower 1 recognizing there's an order alert. It's going to understand that the products selected are predicted to be in high demand at some stage during fulfillment. So it's going to surface that insight to our subject matter expert or application owner and suggest an adaptation to the flow. Okay, so as you can see here, I have two tasks that are currently waiting for me. But if you recall earlier, the downstream steps are currently paused in my process. So if I open up the shipping activity, I see here a message to me saying that this task has been suspended, that we need to address the dynamically inserted task first. So you're seeing that here down below. So now playing the role of a subject matter expert, an order alert has been surfaced to me. We're seeing here that the products ordered are predicted to be in high demand with a very high level of certainty, and that as a result, an ad hoc insertion of a new step for finance is recommended. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to accept that suggestion. I'm going to direct that task to myself, and I want to keep the lock on all of those downstream processes. So when I go back to my task list here in just a second, we're going to see a new task dynamically inserted into the process that did not exist previously. And then once we've completed that, we're going to resume our normal processing. All right, so here's that finance stage. So here, playing the role of the finance team member, recall that I might be taking an offline action to validate creditworthiness, payment terms to ensure that they're in alignment with this sort of with a product of this sort of popularity. So I've taken that action, I've gone ahead and approved, and now the workflow is going to resume its normal processing from here on. All right, so shipping detail, let's go ahead and open up our tracker so we can follow along here. But quickly, I'm going to input details for logistics. And again, want to queue up a scenario so that our second control tower is invoked. So what I might do as an example is just say the customer has requested this product be delivered this coming Monday. So it gives us a very short time frame to get this product to the other side of the world. And what you're going to see here is our process tracker continue to light up. So we're going to see order insurance. That's the last step I need to action before our second control tower is activated. So as you can see here, that has now become active. I'm going to apply order insurance. I'm just going to go ahead and select my favorite provider here. And what you're going to see is the control tower recognizing there's a high likelihood for a delay. So we're going to proceed forward to wait for shipment. But then almost immediately, we're going to see the process rolled backwards to waiting for shipment. Okay, so here you've seen Control Tower Scenario 2 perform the automated action, where a process was rolled backwards based on a very high likelihood of a shipping delay. So that's going to conclude the segment here on the AI Control Tower. Thanks so much.